All right, so I just got my package from Japan. Hopefully this is blocked out for you, but yeah, it came from Japan, and what should be in here is something I don't have a whole lot of experience with, which is resin bonded diamond stones. Should be a Naniwa 3000. All right, well, there you go. So the price on this was about $83. I got this one from Amazon Japan. And this is the 3000 grit. This is the 135 Naniwa resin bonded diamond stone. It's the more square one. So it's like they're, don't know if that's a lip of some kind or what, but screw it. Yeah, it was a lip, but who cares? All right. There's the stone. Well, it's a good thing I'm practicing Japanese, so that'll be fun to read later. And there you go. So this is quite small, as you can tell here. Actually, let's go in this way. Look at him, he's a little cute guy. So that's supposed to be 1 millimeter of resin bonded diamond abrasive, 3000 grit. This is sort of a teal color, aluminum backed. There you go. And because I've never used one of these before, I've used a vitrified stone, but this should be different. I'm going to try it out for the first time today. Now, some of you are probably going to be disappointed that I'm not using a steel that is necessary for diamonds, but just broke down a bunch of cardboard with that guy, AR RPM 9. So we'll touch him up. He is a little bit, he's kind of sharp because I stropped him back from where he was before I started cutting cardboard. But it's not amazing. So that should be perfect opportunity for this. This is just an initial impressions. This is not a review. The review will come later once I have a significant amount of time on this guy. So we'll start using this. All right, so technically this is too small for my stone holder, so I just flip it upside down. That'll work for now. And let's get this positioned. Now, I know that normally people use soapy water on this, and I plan to do that in the future, but for right now, I'm just going to use normal water just to kind of see what the load is like, because normally the soap is supposed to help with load up and stuff. So, all right, that looks already pretty good. It's truly a splash and go. Let's get this guy set up here. Wow. Very smooth, kind of velvety actually. You can feel like a little bit of some bumpy. Extend that out a little bit. There we go. So right now the AC is on in my house, so I apologize for that, but once that dies down, I'll get you a listen to this. But very quiet. Very smooth and velvety. Not a ton of feedback, but a little bit, enough to sort of let you know what you're doing. Look at this here bevel. This might be a little bit too much for 3K to bite off because this is fairly used, so this edge. So it's not like been properly shaped or anything, and it's been stropped a few times, so it's a tad bit convex. But yeah, so far, definitely better than a plated stone, which plated stones don't normally go this high in terms of grit anyway, just due to the plating not being able to hold up to the size of the diamond. Trying to think what this feels like. This has a little bit of those Shapton Koromaku feel from those higher grit stones. Think of like the 2K or the 8K. It has a little bit of that, but it also has just the teeniest little bit of grab in terms of how it feels, which I like. So it's not just completely a like frictionless stone, much like the Shapton 5K, which is, well, not my favorite. So these ones don't come with the refreshing stone like the bigger ones do. I think the bigger ones do, which is just a silicon carbide, basically like a Nagura. But these are also, at least the one that I bought here was under $100. So for a resin bonded diamond stone, I'll take that. Okay, we're getting there. I got a little bit of a burr happening in places, but I'll just skip the time lapse, do this, and then we'll come back. So I've been racking my brain trying to figure out what this stone feels like, and I think I finally got it. I have this natural stone little chunk that I've gotten secondhand, so I don't know who makes it or what its grit rating is, but I've always kind of estimated that that stone was around a 3,000 grit range just based on its scratch pattern. And this Naniwa definitely has a lot of characteristics that that stone has. Very hard, very dense, little feedback, but just enough. All right, so this side is essentially done. I have a pretty teeny tiny little burr on the other side. And much of these reflections are just smudges, but I got a little burr. That didn't take too long. And granted, I am starting out on a 3,000 grit stone, so in terms of what's on the stone, absolutely no stone, no resin or anything like that. No blue is coming up from that. It's just all steel. So virtually no stone breakdown yet, which is great. That's what you want, because you only get 1 millimeter of abrasive layer. So whatever a millimeter is. So now I'm just going to flip to the other side. I figured I'd come back and tell you my experience so far and show you the stone and everything. Other things to note about the stone: feels very, very hard, and also kind of like velvety at the same time. It's kind of hard to explain, but definitely very, very hard feeling stone. So feels very durable, if that makes sense. Here in a second, I'm going to mention that I think that this is the best way to get into a diamond stone from a reputable manufacturer for the least amount of money. I need you to keep in mind that I'm not talking about electroplated stones, and I'm just talking about resin bonded or vitrified stones. And I'm kind of discounting the recent uprising of new brands on Amazon that are kind of uncharted territory. It's going pretty good. So far, I'm quite satisfied with my $80 purchase. It does not beat the feeling of regular water stones, I will say that. But if you want diamonds from a reputable manufacturer, it's kind of like the cheapest way to get into it. I definitely would recommend this so far over like a diamond plate. I don't like diamond plates very much at all. That is just my preference, although diamond plates are much cheaper. However, they don't go up this high, and if they do, they don't last very long. So keep that in mind. I got this stone to check out for my own sake, as well as for any of those high vanadium steels that everybody says that you need them for, which I don't know if I agree with that. Some of them you do, but not all of them. But definitely a big improvement over what I initially thought. But I mean, still $80 for a stone is $83, and that's a deal on a small stone with one grit. So that's a lot to just have people fork out, you know. Now, do you need to go this high? Of course not. You don't need a 3,000 grit edge. This is just for shits and giggles. U-line. See how we did. Not bad. I still probably have a little tiny bit of burr. I have not stropped this yet. But for coming just off the stone and not spending the most amount of time making sure the burr is gone completely, this is newspaper. Yeah, so it doesn't totally, doing a little bit better there. Doesn't totally want to do the newspaper just yet, but has some decent feel to it. I can't use my normal burr feeling or edge feeling finger because of an injury, or a consistent problem that I'm having. So yeah, I see it loading up here. Can you guys see that? Yeah, there you go. Now you can see it. Definitely see the load up. We will find out how big of a deal that is. I do know that eventually it does get to be a something that you need to address, but so far, fine with that. Let me get my strop and we will see what happens to the edge once it gets stropped. This is Creeley's 1 micron diamond compound. I said it was something different, but I was wrong, so I had to correct it here, and that is why it looks a little pink. Not really doing this in a place that you can see, but I need to see, so I take priority. God, stuff is hard to do with the camera in the way. The things I do for YouTube. All right, was that even enough to do anything? U-line paper. Oh yeah. So there's a little bit of snag there. That could just be I'm going too fast. Or it could be I just didn't do a good job. Both are possible. Oh yeah, see, look how it instantly wants to bite now. So, does newspaper just fine? She feels nice. So again, just AR RPM 9, nothing spectacular, nothing amazing. I will test this on more worthy steels. Maybe Rock and Knives will let me try out his Rex 121, or there's other stuff I can use. I have 20 CV. The only reason I didn't use 20 CV right now is because it's just really, really, really sharp, and there's no use in sharpening an already sharp knife. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the initial impressions so far. Really digging this stone. Stay tuned for the review, although it will take some time. I'm not just gonna sharpen a couple knives on this and then be like, yeah, it's good to go. I'm actually gonna use it and kind of go through all the ins and outs and really kind of make sure that this is good to go before I sign off on it. But stay tuned for the review. Hope you enjoyed so far liking it. Thanks for watching.